Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and you are watching Mining for Gems on the Gaming Vector. This is a show where we dig through the Xbox Live indie games catalog once a week in an effort to find the indie game gems on Xbox Live. On this week's episode, we're taking a look at Get Your Cell Together. Once again, an Xbox Live indie arcade title. This is a $1 game. And as you can hear, the music is actually not too bad, but let's see how the game itself is. So we actually have some options here. We've got the help option, which gives us some basic controls. Options menu, we've got mode and volume levels. We'll leave it where it is for now. Typically, I like to think that whatever the difficulty level set at from the beginning, when you first load into the game, is the recommended difficulty for first play. So, let's go ahead and jump into a new game and see what this has to offer. Okay, so we're not supposed to hit those. What are we supposed to do here? Oh, by pressing X, we build up the energy meter. And that allows us to divide our cell and make it larger and larger. Why? I'm not sure. Oh, that's all we had to do was avoid being hit and build up our cell to a larger and larger level. I wonder if that's how the entire game is going to work. There we are, killed again. This is an interesting little concept. So, control-wise, it actually controls really well. It's a little floaty here and there, but not terribly bad. It's an interesting concept for a game. It's an interesting idea. We'll see if that ends up working out over time, assuming I make it any further into the title than the second level. It's also fairly difficult. So we're just going to try and use the level itself to block these guys. There we are, level 3. Well, things have just gotten a little bit more difficult. You can see these enemies are moving fairly slow, but then we also have this ball that's just flinging around the center of the map so quickly I can't even tell what it actually is. Not that it matters, because that was actually a fairly easy level. Oh, this is a little interesting, and we're going to die. So we need to make it through here without actually building up our character. At least until we get through the narrow parts of the corridors. So introducing a little bit of a new item to the gameplay. And then we just need to get as large as we can, hopefully before the fire/lava gets here and kills us. And we have our first boss fight. This will be very, very interesting to see how this functions. So in the boss fight, we're actually allowed to fire at our enemy. This is, seems like a very easy Gradius-style boss fight, almost. Not very difficult, obviously, because they're only firing one shot at a time. It's not like this is a bullet hell shooter. At least not at this level. It may be later on. You can also see we can actually take more than one hit during the boss battle, which is fantastic. So essentially what it looks like we have here is a... Wow, it was instant death. What it looks like we have here is a bit of a puzzle game mixed with some Gradius-style shooting in the boss battles. I like that. It's an interesting combination, and it actually doesn't work too badly here. Plus, like I say, it's an interesting concept. You're playing as a cell, and you're just trying to build up to a point where you can, I would assume, evolve into something else. Although I could be completely wrong there, and that was atrocious. So, in all reality, this game might actually be one of the indie arcade gems we've been looking for. It's challenging, it's fun, it has boss battles that aren't too difficult, but I'm assuming they will be later on. It's got some puzzle elements. It's very simple, very basic, but still challenging and difficult, and I very much enjoy that. I very much like that. So, for $1, I would say you really can't go wrong with this title. It's pretty good at everything it's done, at least up to this point. I don't know how long of a game it actually is, but that's not really what's important. When you're spending $1 on a game, all you ask is that it functions and maybe has a cool idea behind it, and this one really seems to have that. So let's see if we can't clear a couple more levels before we quit here. Oh, or run out of our lives. So this may be where we actually finish the video, because that is near impossible to make it through. Once again, the game does feature some good challenge. It's not easy by any means, and I applaud that. Too many games nowadays are way too easy. Bollocks. We may not make it to the second boss here, but that's alright. We're just trying to get an idea of exactly what the game is. So we've got puzzle elements, we've got boss battles. Let's see what happens when we run out of lives. Let's see if we get to continue from where we left off. There's some sort of checkpoint system or what it is. So there we are. There's a game over screen. And no, you go directly back to the first level with back to 20 lives. So with all that having been said, I would consider this somewhat of an Xbox Indie Arcade gem. It's $1. It's challenging and fun gameplay. It's definitely challenging. And it's probably one of the better games that I've seen. It's got an interesting concept. It's got good controls, good challenge. I would highly recommend this, especially at the price tag of $1. And I'd really like to see if the guys that made this game can come up with something more. I'd like to see them try and do something a little bit bigger, maybe. And you can see we've kind of found a way to exploit the enemy AI, but I'm very much enjoying myself with Get Your Cell Together. This is a pretty good title for the price tag. So I would definitely recommend picking this up if you're looking for something to play that's challenging and you don't have a lot of money to spend. Well, with that being said, I have been your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and thank you for watching The Gaming Vector.